thank you again for joining us this past this Saturday. That was a fun time. Can you guys hear me okay? I want to make sure that my audio's on because I've done this before, a few times. But yeah, how are you guys this week? It's good to be back. It was a very long weekend. But I think it was pretty successful. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But for anybody who's watching who's never been to the stream before, or if you're watching this somewhere else, like for instance YouTube, which I get my lazy ass to do it, then maybe we'll actually get all this footage up to YouTube one day. We're drinking some fine brews today. There's nothing wrong with that, Green Giant. There's nothing wrong with that. I've got a... is Green Giant jolly? Yes. He's a very jolly guy. He's awesome. I met him on Saturday, finally, which was great. So, well, yeah, that was a bad joke, Monica. Horrible joke. Yeah, so what the hell was I talking about? Monica, you distract the hell out of me. I was really confused now. So anybody who's watching this for the first time, that's what I was saying. Either, live now or going on YouTube or some other way, maybe on Twitch. Watch this and welcome to the show. My name is Ted. I am also known as Escape Time, and we are the only beer review show on Twitch. So that's fantastic. Squirrel moment. But here I'm gonna go over the quick rules of the show. Like I said, we are a beer review talk show, the only one on Twitch. We have a few simple rules, right? No repeat beers. So every beer we do a review on, there'll be no repeats of them ever. So there's a list down below in our in the panels under the Suds. You can track the beers that we're drinking. I may change that up a little bit. Maybe put some recommendations on what people thought of it, like score of some sort down there eventually, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Also, no mega breweries, no thing with Miller or anything else like that in their names or Bud or whatever like that. No mass produced stuff. And also show respect to the reviewers, because everybody who's reviewing beer has a different taste. So if you may like a certain beer, I may not. But it is their opinions. So, and if I don't like a beer, don't hesitate to try the beer. You may find that is right up your alley. But most of all, have fun and a pint. Tonight, I'm joined by Scott. Scott, sad you missed the thing on a Saturday. That was
yeah, very upset about that. But
that was a long day.
I did tune in a few times to watch everything going on.
Oh, nice! So, very cool.
Yeah, looked like a good time.
Yeah, it got a little chaotic in the end. After a few beers, I was ready to just kind of call it a day, but it was they were serving it in like these little goblets. They weren't even like proper full pints. Like Isaac Newton's, where we were at, actually has they're serving half pints now, and it's in like this half pint goblet type thing. I don't have one, but yeah, we have some pretty good beers. But I want to get into that and get your guys' feedback about that as well. I mean, some of you guys that were watching, and some Green Giant, you were there, so I'm kind of curious about it. But before we do that, do you want to do the beer review, Scotty?
Yeah, right, may as well.
You want to go first? Or want me to go first?
I can kick it off.
All right, I'll let you kick it off here. Hold on. And bang. There we go.
All right. Kind of upset Steve isn't here. I wanted to show him up with getting a large bottle today. He always comes in with a large bottle. So, all right.
Jeez, that is a large bottle. Look at that thing.
Well, now I don't have to get another beer to sidecar with it. So I ended up going with a Lagunitas beer. Had a lot of their stuff. I think the something ale is probably one of the best out. But this one I saw for the first time in the stores probably a month or so back, and I had been meaning to pick it up. I'm a big hop fan, and I'm always looking for stuff that'll really knock your socks off. So this being named Hop Stupid Ale seemed right up my alley. Um, the IBUs, I know a few weeks back we were talking about IBUs. This one comes in at 102.
Hello.
So this should be interesting. I was reading a little about it, and the to make sure some of the other flavors of the beer, the malts and what have you, to make sure they come through, they actually used hop extract, which I have heard of Sierra Nevada in some of their beers. They have, I believe they have one where they use a hop extract. So it'll be interesting to see how this tastes.
So how do they do a hop extract?
Well, instead of actually adding in the either your dried hops or what have you, or the pellet hops, it's just like your malt extract. It would be an extract like that.
Well, we grow hops in the backyard. I'm wondering if they like squeeze the hell out of them and just kind of get all the juices out of it. Because if you squeeze a hop, and we can get this in a little bit later, you do get some like residue that comes out of there. So I'm not sure how that if I'm gonna have to look that up, because that would be one way of not wasting all the bloody hops that we have in the backyard. So
yeah, there you go. Of course, you know how much time and effort's involved in doing that. That's a whole nother story.
That's true. It's like making olive oil out of an olive tree you grow in your backyard. It's not worth it, right? So,
all right. Definitely, you get the hops right off with the scent. Smells really good. Definitely hoppy. You get some citrus, some piney in there, and they were right. It doesn't completely destroy your palate from tasting some of the other flavors from the malts. It's pretty good. I'd be surprised to see how it says at the end of the bottle if I can taste anything.
so that hop oil, you're saying that hop extract, right? I mean, that's adding a more bitterness to it, but it's not.
Well, I think you're getting your bitterness from it.
Okay.
But or so they said. I've never dealt with it, but in reading a little about this beer, they said they use the extract for the ability to not have it kind of overpower the to get the bitterness, but not overpower the other flavor components of the beer.
Okay.
So I can definitely, I mean, the hops are there. Don't get me wrong at all. Clocking at 102 IBUs, they're definitely right up and forefront in this beer. But other flavors do come through. You would think with 102 IBUs that, you know, you're just tasting bitter.
Well, I mean, because I've had some double IPAs that have been like extremely, you know, offsetting bitter. You know, I think if I'm not mistaken, and someone might have to verify this for me, but I think like the 120-minute IPA by Dogfish is is like over 100 IBUs, if I'm not mistaken. But
I'm not sure.
because I think it's like it's different, right? I mean, the flavors are different, the complexity is different, even from the 60-minute front to the 90-minute in Dogfish Head's IPA. The flavor complexity is that way, but still the IBUs are super high. You know, but again, that hop extract is super interesting. I mean,
So it's with the 60, 90, and 100-minute IPAs, is the minute number there, is that tied to at what point in the boil they add the bittering hops? Is that what it is, or?
I think so. You know, I actually have a 120 that I've been saving for several years. It's probably one of the first beers that I've ever cellared, and it's in my basement. One day we're gonna have to open that up, and I was thinking maybe next month when we get around to actually do some brewing. What I'll do is I think maybe I'll bring some of the beers that I did some side by sides, and maybe we can
Hmm.
just kind of talk about that while we're
Yeah,
brewing as well. So that'd be kind
absolutely.
of fun. Now, is this beer brewed year round?
That I don't know.
Look
Like I
into that
said,
real fast.
this is the first year I've seen it.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if it's a seasonal for them or if it's something that is part of their regular rotation. I'm not really sure.
I'm just looking up real fast. It is a year round beer. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's a year round beer.
Very cool.
I'll have to look for that bad boy.
So the one thing that came to my mind when getting a hoppy beer, have you ever heard somebody refer to a beer as dank?
Yes, and I still have no bloody clue what that means.
So
like I understand. I've heard it referred to when someone's talking about like marijuana.
yeah, so I looked it up. All right,
Okay.
and it definitely has that connection, and um, people use the term dank when you, I guess, get the same sense as in smelling and feel of marijuana. So it's kind of used in the same note, but it then brought me to a whole another area of people and the different hops and the taste they get out of them. And there is a hop, it's actually Simcoe,
Okay.
that certain people find has a cat piss taste. Now,
Oh.
two things about this.
Yeah.
Number one is I don't know how anybody can compare it unless they've actually tried cat
Cat
piss.
urine. Yeah.
Um, and the other is at that point, wouldn't you stop drinking it or enjoying that Simcoe hop in beer? But I hear Simcoe all around. People love that hop. And it seemed like that's the main one that people refer to as having a cat piss flavor.
Speaking of cat, right behind you.
Yeah, this is Jenny. She likes to join in every week.
What's up, Hellman in here? So, Dark Hair Beauty wanted to know if there's a lot of things floating in it.
In this beer,
Yeah.
yeah, we have some chunks floating around.
So that's like the hop residue that might be,
I'm not really sure.
or like the yeasty. Huh.
I'm not sure. I don't let it stop me though.
Nah, never do. Never do. I always go and just sip down the end scum, as they call it, at the bottom, or the leftover dead yeast that have
Yeah,
ended up in the
it
bottle.
it could
Swirl
it,
it around.
it definitely could be that. I definitely wasn't overly careful in carrying this beer over to me from the fridge, so I could have shaken up a lot that was on the bottom.
Well, Dark Hair Beauty, what did you mean by things floating into it? I mean, are we kind of hitting it on the head there? Are you looking to see if there's like, because of the IBUs, you think there's just a lot of chunks floating in it, or I mean, I don't. I gotta readjust my camera. There we go. Yeah, I always like taking the even a lot of beers actually have that, especially if you've been cellaring them for a while too. You have like a lot
Yeah.
of like things that are just at the bottom,
Hmm.
the dead yeast that just comes back and is just glorious. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll have to do a little research and see, what that's all about. But as I continue to drink this, it they definitely did a really good job. It's you definitely get the hoppiness, but it's not at all overpowering, which I expected when I first picked it up.
oh,
Um, Big fan. I would buy this again.
hmm.
Absolutely.
What was this? The last time I had a beer with a lot of hops, had a lot of hops that had a lot of floaties. She's saying so, you know. But with the use of the beer the hop extract, right? I mean, wouldn't that, because if you the pellet, that dissipates and goes in there, and if it's unfiltered, sure, you might get some stuff like that, but what was the beer you had? Dark Hair Beauty. What was the beer that you had last time that had all the stuff? If you can remember, I know with like stouts and stuff, you just can't see it. It's just too bloody dark.
Right.
You're not going to get any of that stuff.
I've found even with the Stone Mocha IPAs that I have, I bought a 6-pack of them a while ago, and probably over 6 months ago, and early on they were crystal clear, and now when I open them, there's definitely chunks. So something is happening.
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully it's not, but it's like a bottled beer, right? So it's not it's not like the lining of the can.
Yeah, it's bottled. So I don't know, but it's something definitely to look up and get a little more info on. So to be continued next week.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research on that and see exactly why that is there. My camera's just not in the right position here. Sorry, guys. Just gonna readjust here a little bit. Yeah, cause what was I thinking here? We had, even with our homebrew, I've seen stuff like that, because I still have some of the homebrew downstairs from our last session. I can't remember what we even brewed, but I'm gonna pop it open one day and be like, oh right, it was this. But the last time I had it, it wasn't the honey ale. The honey ale was that wasn't that, but it was
probably the harvest ale we brewed a lot of.
Yeah. Which we haven't brewed in a long time. I don't know if that's something you want to do this next go round, or try something different. Maybe we'll figure out.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that was always good. We don't have any. What we used to do, guys. Well, it's been a while. I can't remember the last time we brewed, guys. Maybe a year or two before Owen.
Yeah.
And Owen's 2.
Yeah.
So,
probably 3 years ago, to be honest with you.
Jesus, it's been that long. Wow, I feel like a epic beer failure here. But like, we used to, because I grow hops in my backyard, and it's getting time in the spring where the rhizomes are going to start producing everything, and what we would do is we would harvest all the fresh hops, and I would either dry them out in packets and put them in somewhere until we use it, or one time, one of the beers, we ended up taking and picking all the hops, and then just throwing all the fresh hops in, right into the, was like the boil, right? Or was it, did we dry hop with the fresh hops? We'll have to look back, because I know you have notes. So
yeah, no, we definitely put it in. I think 2 different occasions. One time we put it in before, into the primary for the fermentation, and another time we put it into the secondary.
Right. Yeah. It was made by a friend. It was made by a friend in his garage, and so homebrewed. Oh, all right. Maybe it has to do something with the homebrew then. Homebrew though.
Well, a lot of different hops have the pine flavors.
Yep.
A lot of that. So.
Yeah. Very tasty.
I believe Simcoe has some pine flavors in it. So, Dark Hair Beauty, you may have been drinking cat piss.
That would be horrible. I've never heard of cat piss being a flavor that you get from a beer.
Look it up. People are talking about it everywhere.
All right, I'm gonna have to look this up.
It definitely shocked me, and well, maybe you don't want to look it up, because there were some comments of people saying that they never noticed it, and now that they tried certain beers where people said
Simcoe
the cat piss flavor came through, that's all they can taste now. So. You may want to just disregard.
But again, I mean, like, you would have to actually have a reference, like you said. Who?
The only thing I can think of is, with hops, and you get such a strong flavor in your mouth, and because all your scent glands are there, that you're kind of getting both together.
Maybe.
And as a cat owner, you have absolutely been around cat piss and had that kind of smell and sensation. So maybe it's similar to that. I don't know.
Or maybe they were sitting next to a cat box while they're drinking the beer, and that probably was their issue. They smelled it.
Maybe.
And now they associate it. I don't know.
Maybe,
People with
maybe
small,
so.
people small. Yeah, it's like, it's like going in and drinking a beer by dealing with Owen. It's like, oh, good. No, I associate that with this. Um, so funny thing is, Scotty, I'm actually going the same glass tonight, by the way.
Yeah, so Ted, I sent you a message the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
I know when we first started uh, these beer reviews, I was strictly in pint glass or out of the bottle. And I believe we actually were talking about glass styles, and I said, at the end of the day, everything should be drank out of a pint. Um, but lately, this tulip glass is really growing on me. I don't know why.
It's a good tulip glass. It's one of the only ones I own in my
Yeah.
house. But
I
yeah.
think I think I think it's because it actually makes me feel a little classy. I think that's what it is.
Well, yeah, I went with it tonight because the beer I'm reviewing is actually a imperial stout and barley wine blend aged in rum barrels. So I was like, this is going to be, it's 12%. So I was like, I need something to sip it out of. That would explain why nobody kisses me under the mistletoe, because of cat.
Because there were pine notes and she was drinking cat piss. That makes sense to me.
Okay, I get it now. I had to think about that one. It was just a little bit there. All right, I'm gonna jump into it because I'm getting thirsty. I'm really curious about this beer here.
I'll tell you what, real quick, Ted.
Oh, go ahead, Scotty.
I don't know if you can see through this bottle, but down at the bottom, it is quite chunky.
Oh, cloudy. Yeah.
So we'll see once I pour it into the glass.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, this beer has some chunks in it.
That's gonna be but that's still the extra goodness. You want to keep that,
Yeah.
I
I'm not worried about it.
no, nor am I. All right, so guys, today I'm doing Clown Shoes. This is the first time I'm reviewing a Clown Shoes beer, by the way. And there's two reasons why I chose this beer. First of all, the epic picture that's on here. I have no idea what the hell this thing is, but I kind of want to find it and make it a pet. So, but it looks like a dragon horse with a unicorn horn.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a unicorn gargoyle.
Oh, and by the way, he's holding Thor's hammer. Look at that damn thing. I mean, in his tail. That is epic. I just noticed that. Holy crap. Yeah. It's a dragon horse with a Thor's hammer. So, besides being a kick-ass label here, right? This was also recommended to me by a guy that I was at one of the local beer shops, and man, I'm just readjusting this thing big time tonight. So the guy said that this is a very limited beer, and I was looking it up too. So was only brewed once. So this is the probably one of the only times we're going to be able to get this beer right here, and it's called Hammer of the Beast. And again, the epic picture that it is that's on it kind of drew me to the beer, along with the recommendation here. It is an imperial stout, like I said, imperial stout and barley wine blend. I'm assuming it just says imperial stout and barley wine ale, aged in rum barrels. Now, I'm not really typically a fan of barley wines. I find them very strong, but the fact that this was blended. Now I had to think about that, blending the two beers together. Basically, are you brewing two beers and then just kind of merging them together in some fashion, or aging them and merging them in one fermenting, like in a secondary fermenter? I'm not really too sure, and then putting them in, or maybe that's what they did. They put it in the rum barrels, and they made the two beers. Focus camera. Anyway, it's not working. Aged in rum barrels. So this is the first time and probably the only time we're gonna find this thing. A little sad about that, but I'm expecting it to be a really dark beer. Like I said, it's about 12% that we're doing here. Yeah, that's pretty dark because of the imperial stout.
Oh my God, that is dark.
Oh my god, that's a lot of flavor going on in there. I get like a little bit of the raisin from it, and I'm not sure if that's like from the barley wine, but you can tell that this is high alcohol. It is a very colorful label. I'm really happy about that. This is gonna be one of the bottles I save. I'm gonna put that up there as like as a showpiece. It's so cool. Um, yeah. So I mean, the color is super dark. Um, look where. So besides that raisin, there's some other scent I hear I can't really identify. When I first smelled it, I thought it was like coffee, but I don't think coffee is in this at all. I'm just gonna give it a taste. This is actually quite smooth. There's only very small hint of like an alcohol on the back end of the flavor here. Um, it has been warming up for about past like 15 minutes, or so. So, well, a little bit longer than that. So this thing is about room temperature. So I'm getting like all sorts of different flavors coming out of here um, when I'm tasting it. I don't really get a lot of the harshness that I get from barley wine. I think like the chocolate malts that are used with inside as part of like imperial stout is kind of cutting that. And I think that's one of the things that I don't like about barley wines in the first place. Is that when you're sipping it, it's the alcohol is just way overpowering. It feels like to me it's almost like I'm not taking a shot, not that bad, but it's just a very strong alcohol flavor in barley wines. So I generally avoid them, like I said. But this is very very mellow as far as the I guess the impression of alcohol on your palate, right?
Get any of the cherry coming through?
You mean the rum?
Wasn't that, didn't it say something about cherry or no?
No, no, it's a imperial stout and barley wine aged in rum barrels. And now that you
Oh,
say that, that's probably what else I'm smelling in here that I wasn't able to identify. That rum, that maybe that little bit of like that sweetness from the rum. It's definitely I don't taste the rum on the forefront here.
hmm
Then again, I don't really drink rum that often, so maybe there is. Um,
Maybe you'll start drinking it because this sounds very good.
I'm not gonna drink rum. It's one of the things like I don't like drinking hard alcohol. Well, you know this, but
Mm.
you guys might not. Maybe I've never said it before. I don't drink hard alcohol. It goes bad places. Next thing you know, I'm in the middle of like a field. I ran into a fence in front of a train, and I woke up and I still have my pants on. So other than that,
As long as you had your pants on, then, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to leave it there.
well, yeah, it could be worse. But and that actually happened, by the way. I ran into a fence that was in front of a train track, and then but I was drunk. I had maybe like 10 Long Island iced teas, and Scott knows that was the bane of my existence. There's been other things that happened because of those, because of Long Island iced teas.
I think they're the bane of everyone's existence.
Oh God, it was a harsh day. But I was just lucky that Jeff, Scott's brother, came and found me. Christine wasn't happy, but
That doesn't matter.
I, I do my best, guys, and then I fail. Most of the time, I fail. So
That's life, and that's when you know you're enjoying it, though.
if you can remember that part, then yes, definitely, I agree. So I'm guessing what the flavor that I'm tasting is more like the oaky from the wood of the rum barrels. Some of the sweetnesses in here is definitely from that rum barrel. Um, Imperial stouts normally are a little bit sweeter, so but again, the barley wine I'm not getting much of it, and I think it's because the chocolate malts are really kind of covering up a lot of the harshness of the of barley wines. And maybe I just haven't been drinking good barley wines, but this is super smooth. I would say this goes down way too.
I'm invincible.
Fool me.
You're a loony.
Probably for running into a fence and getting not having. Yeah, but it could be worse. Yeah, I would say if you find a bottle of this, I'm actually quite enjoying this. The scent is very nice. Actually, I think Anne would probably enjoy this as well.
I can't say I've ever found clown shoes around me.
Really?
Well, if they distribute to New Jersey, I would assume they do. If they're in PA, they have to be in NJ.
It's not always true because there are several different breweries that are in New Jersey that I can't find here.
I mean, I think the only time I've ever had Clown Shoes beer is at the Newtown Brew Fest.
Yeah, they're always there.
Yeah.
Tim always brings them in, and they do some pretty epic stuff. Not only just because of their epic labels, but I mean, again, that is so cool. Absolutely keeping this one.
I'm definitely a big fan of labels as well. That if it has a good label, I probably will buy it.
Yeah. Well, that's how I started collecting the Marilyn Merlot stuff, right? Because I'm a big fan of Marilyn Monroe, and so when that wine came out, that's how I started collecting that stuff. But you actually open a bottle of that. I know we're getting off topic here, but it's actually really good wine.
Yeah. So funny. I think I've told you, Ted, about this. Funny story about those bottles is I actually had one in the trunk of my car during summer. And by the time I finally pulled it out, it had gotten so hot and the wine had gotten so hot that it actually forced the cork about halfway out. And some wine actually came out and down the side of the bottle. So I basically said, you know what, this is probably shot. But over the years, it kind of just traveled with me. And then my wife and I bought our first house, and probably 2 or 3 years into the house, we were moving something around, and she's like, "What the heck happened to this bottle?" So I told her the story, and she said, "Just dump it." So I pulled the cork, and I was about to dump it, and I said, "You know what? We can't just dump it. We may as well taste it." And I'll tell you what, for everything that bottle went through, and I'm not a big wine drinker by any means, but that was a good bottle of wine.
They actually do some pretty good stuff, and I have a whole cellar of them downstairs. I have one of them up here.
Are they still making a bottle every year?
I don't know. You know, I was because I worked down in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and there was a place that I used to go to get that, right? And I stopped in there and I to get a few beers a few weeks back, and I was gonna go look and see if they actually still have those producing this type of wine, but I'm not sure. I know the one bottle that we have that I forget what year it is.
I think it's a 99.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. 99. Yeah, 99. That's worth like $3,000 for that bottle of wine. But it's like a collector's item because of Marilyn Monroe, right? But it's absolutely ridiculous. So
you and I have a bottle, so we got to find the right buyer.
Someone's gonna buy it on eBay. You know, everybody. There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, didn't someone try to sell an air guitar on eBay and someone bought it? I mean, let's be honest. If someone's gonna buy an air guitar on eBay, they'll buy that bottle of wine too. So
yeah, fair, valid point.
But we were talking about the cost of wine a while back as well, right? I mean beer a while back as well, and I think the highest, it was a few episodes ago, but the highest selling beer in the world was Toxic Nuclear Penguin. And I think there was because it's a very limited release from BrewDog in Scotland, and I think that went for, what was it, like $22,000 or something like that. It was something absolutely ridiculous for one bottle of this beer.
Must have been a massive bottle.
I don't think, no. It was like a 12-ounce bottle of this thing. And I remember I was in England a few years ago, and I remember seeing it on the shelf. And at the time, it was like 66 pounds. You know, so I normally just double it and at least at that time I would just double it for a pound per dollar, right? So that it's like $120, or a little bit more. And I was like,
Hmm.
I am not buying a 12-ounce bottle of toxic nuclear penguin for no, it was End of History, wasn't it? Yeah, End of History. No, End of History sold for 22. Toxic nuclear penguin was another one of theirs.
Hmm.
That's the End of History is the one where they actually had a taxidermy with a squirrel around it.
Yeah.
If you guys have never seen that, look up End of History by BrewDog. Again, have done some really awesome stuff. And speaking of them, they started a brewery in the U.S.
Really?
I have to look up exactly where they are, but I'm really excited about it. I think we should just take a road trip. It's nowhere close to where we are, but I think we need to take a road trip down there.
That sounds good to me.
It's in the
I, I
south.
actually I actually went to BrewDog in I believe it was Glasgow,
Hmm.
and it was actually a family trip, and we went to Scotland and Ireland. We were in Scotland, and it was my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to BrewDog, and then we actually went to this bar called Lebowski's,
I
and
remember
they
the story.
specialized in White Russians, and
As it should
the
be.
the bar area had a rug, and it really tied the room together.
If you guys don't know what that reference is, go watch the movie The Big Lebowski. The main character always drank White Russians, and something about his rug.
It was
Really,
the whole movie was pretty much about the
the
main
dude.
character had his rug stolen, and he
Yep.
just wanted his rug back.
Oh yeah. That's pretty much it. That was pretty much it. I gotta say, this beer is super smooth. Again, guys, I'm drinking Clown Shoes Hammer of the Beast. This thing is not only is this a again I can't get over the label. It is epic, and you can see the hammer he's holding in his tail. This horse dragon unicorn Thor. Pretty much all how I can explain this thing. But yeah, this thing is way super smooth, and I could see this being epically an epic fit. Oh shit! There's something on the side here. Hold on. How do you amplify a beast that's half unicorn? Hold on, half unicorn, half dragon, who is already escalated from angry to very angry to extremely angry. Give it a hammer. It says. This is the fifth installment of the Beast series. So this is a series that Clown Shoes has done. It blends two equal parts undead party crasher, billionaire, and Balacorn Una Dragon, all aged in rum barrels. So yeah, what they did was they brewed the beers, their standard beers, right? The ones that I probably bastardized the pronunciation of it, and then they actually combined them and put them in the rum barrels, and then they served it up as a Hammer of the Beast. So this is unfortunately a very limited one-time brewing release. So my recommendation to you guys, if you ever get a chance to get this, if you see it in your area, I mean, I don't know where they distribute, but
Yeah,
this is definitely.
I gotta look for this. And actually, a really cool app I've started using is beer menus. So there's certain liquor stores, certain restaurants, certain bars that they update their stock. So
Oh,
what bottles of beer they have, what kegs they have. For your liquor stores, they have growler stations, what kegs they have there to keep it basically current. So not only can you just go into the app and search your
this guy.
local participating establishment to see what
Right.
they have, but the other really cool feature is, and what I'm going to do with this is, you can go into the app and basically search for a particular beer, and it'll show you the closest place to you that has it. So
Oh.
very, very cool. Now, not all bars
Hmm.
participate, but
Right.
there is a growing selection of them that do.
Oh wow. I've never heard of that. You have to send me the link to that. I mean, if you
Yeah.
guys you guys are interested in, we'll post it in chat. Maybe there's something
See if I
that
can
we
find
can. Scott's gonna look it up real quick here. But yeah, by the way, the last part of this text, right? It said, "We'll respect you if you run, but respect you more even if you can tackle the hammer of the beast." So, this is one of these things that I think I would definitely want to take an age and see how this goes. Because aging beer is definitely one of those things that it's been taking off over the last few years, right? A lot of people are cellaring beers. I have a whole collection of beers that I cellar downstairs in my basement, and I think this one is definitely one I would definitely take and cellar, right? But I recently found an article, Scotty, that was saying that, and I'm gonna bring it up real fast here, that don't age beers. It's trying to say don't age beers. Right, and if you're going to age it, you're looking for 3 specific aspects to this, right? So they say if you're aging beers, you want 3 characteristics. You want strong, or you want sour, which I never thought to myself aging a sour beer, right? But that's what they're suggesting here, or smoked.
Yeah, I can see that.
Smoked beers. So,
those all sound right. I mean, your typical session beers, your IPAs, you definitely don't want because their hop profiles actually diminish over time. Right. So you'll see a lot of your IPAs that'll have a best drank by date.
Well, Stone does it, right? They were doing they have the series of Enjoy By.
Drink by or
Enjoy By, yeah.
Yeah, Enjoy By. Yep.
But those are all hoppy beers, and I actually have one down in my basement. I think I might review next week. It's an Enjoy By beer by Stone that has, and I've tasted it before, so this wouldn't be the first time I'm having it because I bought 2 bottles, so I can see what it is. But it was an Enjoy By with coffee and chocolate, and it's a very, very light color, almost to the same color as the beer you're drinking, Scotty. So it's again that cold fermenting.
Gotcha.
Fermenting technique that actually allows it to bring on the flavors of the coffee and the chocolate. But so what they're saying, and you brought up a good point, right? They're saying you shouldn't age hop forward beers. Anything that's been super hoppy, that's super hoppy. So hold on. What's the oldest beer you ever had? As far as like cellaring them, Dark Haired Beauty. Well, I brought one up here. This one, yeah, and because we were talking about how smoky beers are definitely good to age, right? Ratchesphere Drew, who's been on here a bunch of times with us. Actually, Scott, I don't think he's ever been on when you've been on, but it's super knowledgeable. He is. I
watched a few of the episodes where he was on. Good guy.
I am just always so impressed by what he knows. So this beer here is a 2009 smoked porter from Alaskan Brewing Company. I have 2 of these left in my basement. These are including this. This is one of my prized possessions. So how old is 2009?
Over 7 years. Or
over 7 years. 7. Yeah. Well, what was that? Because I bought a few episodes back. I had the
Dogfish Head.
That Dogfish Head one. I can't remember the Palo Santo, and that was aged for at least 9 or 10 years. I think it was 10 years because it was 2007. I bought that bottle. It was the first year they brewed it, and if I'm remembering correctly, and I opened that side by side. So I think that's probably my oldest beer that I had down there. But with that said, 2002, someone gave me a beer that I don't know if I'm ever gonna open this damn thing, but it's actually by Sam Adams. And how long would the beer last in a bottle? I think, depending on the beer, it's going to be a decade, or
Well, I read an
really
article
depends.
recently of they found an ancient city and they found actually bottled beer, and I'd have to relook up the article to see
But
how old it was, but
did they drink it?
yeah, they opened it up and tasted it.
Now I'm curious to see
But
if it was really good.
I'm pretty sure that they're trying to now create a recipe for that beer. I'll have to try and find the article.
Was that Dogfish Head that did it?
I don't know.
Because they're known. They're obviously they like their ancient beers. They have a whole
Yeah,
series of it.
absolutely.
But yeah, it really depends on the beer, right? So, Stone Brewing Company, they did their Vertical Epic. The first time they brewed the Vertical Epic was 2002, and they actually just re-released 2002, so you might be able to find it in your store if you see a Vertical Epic that says 2002 222. Definitely pick it up. You could age that one as well, again, but the idea was that from the first release to the last release, which was 2012, you should be able to age the first one to the last one, and then open it in 2012, or after 2012. So that's a 10-year difference right there.
Right.
That you could save that beer, and I still have some downstairs. I had I had an 888, and I have one of the original 888s that they released. So, I'm thinking that might be one we can open up and just kind of do side by side there, Scotty. That would be kind of.
Yeah, I have one of the new 222 ones that I'm starting all over again. So as they release them, I'm gonna get them.
I heard someone said that they were releasing them all, but I have my doubts now. I've only seen 222 and they did 888. Why would they do 222 and 888 and not do the rest of them?
I've only seen 222. I thought they were starting over, so each year they were going to start again. But
no, I don't know. We'll have to look that up. It was one of those things. But you can age a beer pretty long period of time.
Because if you think about it, the way you originally said it, the 12, 12, 12, the 222 is supposed to be able to be aged for 10 years. So,
right.
Kind of following that thought process, you would want to re-release them year after year after year to give the same, because otherwise you're gonna. And I thought they would all kind of, wasn't it? They would all complement each other if you had them all kind of sampling them all at the same time.
Yeah,
I thought that was the original.
That's the idea.
Yeah,
you could have them, but it's interesting to see. Like, I was glad that they were re-released when I saw the 888. I was like, awesome, because I have some 880 downstairs. Now I can do a side by side. Here's one that's been aging since 2008. Here's one that that's brand new. What's the difference in flavor here?
Just hope the liquor store you found it at, it wasn't just an old one that they.
Oh no! Because on the bottle it says re-release.
Oh, gotcha.
It actually says re-release, and even if it was, I'd still buy it because those things go for a lot of money. I think I have the oldest one of the Vertical Epic I have in a basement is probably 2006. I think that was the first time I had it. I started doing those. But if you're going to age a beer, Dark Hair Beauty, you want to do what this article was saying is either something smoked, like this smoked porter from Alaskan Brewing Company, or the beer that Ratchetsphere had reviewed 2 or 3 weeks ago. It actually said on the bottle, you should age this, which is a good.
That's a good indicator.
You should probably try that fresh and then age it and see exactly what is going on there. Die Toaster, thank you for the host. I do appreciate it. Ooh, with 9 viewers, thank you, sir. Do appreciate it. Look at that. My man's just bringing the pain here. Nothing wrong with bringing the pain to beer, guys.
Yeah. That's
Always
the
good
truth.
to have a beer. Cheers to you, Die Toaster. Thank you, sir, for the host. Do
Ah,
appreciate it. Um, but there are also anything that's a high alcohol volume, right? For instance, like the Clown Shoes and Toaster. You would love this beer, by the way. A Toasted Raid. Ah, thank you, sir. I'm getting toasted. I'm working on my way there. So check this out, Toaster. Since you just showed Hammer of the Beast, man. It's a barley wine imperial stout blend. Look at that. Look at that guy. Look at that. Look at that. If it focuses, it's even got a hammer in its tail. It's fantastic.
it really loves focusing on your face as opposed to the bottle.
Yeah, it does. Oh well. Maybe if I get out of the way, go like this. No,
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 no.
no. It's
It's
focusing on
actually
Darth Vader in the background.
it's focusing on your ear.
Yeah, focus on my ear. Great. That's all we need. The red ears, because as I drink more, you can always tell when I'm a little bit tipsy because my ears get like bright red. By the way, it's a tell. Um, it's hard to age beer around your friends. I got a lot of friends
So
that
here's the thing, okay? Because I've actually just encountered
expensive.
an issue with this. Any beer you want to age should not be in your fridge.
Very true.
You should put it in a cabinet. You should an area where it's not going to get direct sunlight on the bottle.
Yep.
Basically, somewhere in the dark. Get it out of the view of everybody,
Yep.
and that will solve your I can't age beers with my friends because I had some beers I had gotten a few bottles of, wanted to taste them, had them in my fridge, and they slowly disappear.
Oh.
So definitely get them out of your fridge and hide them
Yeah.
away somewhere. And you know the cool part is you hide them away and they're out of your view, and you'll forget you have them.
My friend Mark, that's his problem. He never ages any beers. He doesn't see the point in it. You know, he's a proper English guy who just, you know, he loves his beer. Good friend. His biggest flaw is being a Spurs fan. But hey, whatever. That's just that's just my opinion. So he just can't age beer because he just drinks it. It like to your point, Scott. It's in his fridge. He drinks it. Why am I gonna age it? It's in my fridge. I'm just gonna drink as much as I can.
Yeah.
Well, not as much as I can, but you know what I mean. So he but Scott's right. What I do with the beers that I want to age is I take them and I put them in a box. I actually go and get like a wine box, like a not a box of wine, but like you know how they have the 12 bottles of wine, and I stick these big 22-ounce bottles in there, and I shove it in a shelf, away from the light. It's in my basement, out of my own view. I don't need to see it, you know. And half the time I forget that they're even there, you
Right.
know. Which is a few weeks ago when I was reviewing the Palo Santo, right? The only reason why I actually reviewed Palo Santo is I was going through the beers and I was looking at it. It's like holy shit, I have one of these Palo Santos here. I actually had two of them. It's like, huh, maybe it would be a really cool idea to go get a new one and take this one that's been aging for like, you know, 2007 and just kind of try them side by side. And if you guys want to
Right.
go back and see that what my review was, there's that we have highlights of it in the highlights for our channel, so you can go check that out. And to be honest with you, the cool part was I thought that the one that's been aging since 2007 tasted goddamn great, you know. So I'm absolutely gonna buy a 6-pack of that Palo Santo and shove it in the back of somewhere, and just let it sit for a while and see if I love it as much as I did when I had it this last time.
You should pass that review on to Dogfish. You may get a free 6-pack
Well,
sent your way.
to their point, the reason why I started aging it and I put those two away is that actually on the bottle it says this beer is made for aging, and I was like, boom, I'm going to do it, you know. So I stuck it back there, and like I said, I forgot about it. My mom has some commemorative Richard Petty Pepsi bottles from like 1996. How was drinking Pepsi from 1996? By the way,
Did it still have carbonation?
yeah, did it still have carbonation? Well, that brings up another good point about this article. We've gotten off track, obviously, but we were talking about, there's we haven't. It kind of relates, right? We were talking about the fact that this article is saying you shouldn't age certain types of beers. The types of beer they suggested is smoked beer, like this one from 2009, my Alaskan porter, and also sour beers are things you could age. And I never really even thought about that, to be honest with you. The other ones to do are strong beers that have that are high alcohol content. Like, for instance, this Hammer of the Beast, which Toaster said he's going to immediately go out and get, apparently. This thing with the unicorn dragon hybrid that's holding a hammer on it is 12%. Aged in rum barrels, a barley wine imperial stout blend. This thing could probably age really nicely if you put it in your basement. But they're saying that hop forward beers like thank you, Monica, I do appreciate that. I know it had sugar clumps. Ooh, that's weird. Hop forward beers, they're saying not to age. You should drink them right off the bat, and I kind of disagree with that because hops are a natural preservative, right? Yes, it's going to, the bitterness is going to change. Yes, it was a scroll moment. But the bitterness and the aroma is going to change in these hoppy beers. So, but if you think about it, IPAs started from a style, Indian Pale Ales got their name from the English actually shipping beers over and hopping the hell out of them, and then shipping these beers over to India, and using immense amount of hops because it's a natural preservative. So, since it's a natural preservative, you can definitely age those things.
Right. But the thing to keep in mind with that is a lot of these, big hop beers nowadays are meant to have big hops. So kind of with that flavor profile in mind, if you age them, it's not going to, not to say it's not going to be good, but it's
True.
not going to have that same flavor profile that the brewer intended.
That's true. That's true.
Something to think about there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know. It also brings up a point about wheat beer, right? Wheat beers are cloudy, right? If you're gonna age, you probably don't want to age a wheat beer because it's actually going to make it less cloudy. All the sediment in the wheat beer will probably settle, and then you'll have all those lovely little chunks that we were talking about before, at the bottom of it. Wheat beers probably are not your best bet for aging, but they were also saying, and this is actually I kind of found this very surprising, Scott. They said, well, not the first one. The first one they said twist top beers. Anything with a twist top, there's a oxygen seepage in it, right? Anything that has a twist top. I have Duff beer cans from Simpsons, and also Buzz Cola. Ooh, that's kind of cool. But
with that said,
yeah,
even more reason for me to hate Leinenkugels.
Well, they do have that what is that? The berry vice that tastes like it literally tastes like fucking fruity pebbles. I remember tasting that. It was in Kansas a long time ago. It was out with my friend Jake, who was there. I have Billy beer cans. I don't know what that is. Dark haired beard. And we asked for this one beer. It was an English beer. It's called Hobgoblin, and I think they accidentally poured me a pint of Leinenkugel Berry Weiss. Because I remember tasting the damn thing and thinking, why does this taste like someone blended up Fruity Pebbles and just put it in my pint glass? It was just disgusting. I was just like, ugh. But
yeah,
the funny,
Hobgoblin should not taste that way.
No, it doesn't. And originally, because I tasted it a while back, not the last time we had it. I think you and I had a pint at your house, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just recently.
Just in the fall. Yeah.
So, but I had it before that, and I remember thinking to myself, man, that hobgoblin must have went south when they served it to me.
Yeah.
But no,
It's a good beer and is not at all sweet.
no, not at all. But I think they actually may have, because when I ended up tasting this berry vice from there, I was like, this is the exact same goddamn taste that I had when I ordered a hobgoblin in bloody Kansas. So I think they just poured me the wrong damn thing. But ever since then, I was just like, that's disgusting. Why would I want to fucking drink Fruity Pebbles? But they also said, Scott, and I brought this up specifically, the swing top bottles has oxygen seepage. The possibility oxygen seepage. Which, again, see how hard that was to get out of there? I mean, this thing has a seal. Unless it's like maybe the breakdown of like the plastic. I don't know if you guys can see that right there.
Right.
Or if it's in focus, right? This
Yeah, maybe over time, if it's not hydrated, you get some dry rot.
In this plastic
Similar,
case, though?
similar thing with corks, right? And I know with wine bottles, the whole purpose of having a cork is it's not 100% air sealed, blah blah blah. But maybe it's a similar thing.
Yeah, but I mean the cork is an organic thing. This is like a man-made plastic, supposed to be like super seal. So apparently they're saying don't age beers that have a pop top.
So is it the best beers to age are the ones with either a proper crimp top or crimp cap or actually corked?
I think corked probably, because a lot of times you have corked beers that have like the cap over top of it.
Right.
You find that, or even like the ones that have the wine bottle corks that you can actually you actually have to you have to take off the cap and then
kind of like a
cork out. I think that's probably your best bet. But I mean, look at this when I'm putting this down here, right? I mean, this is a solid seal. You think this is fucking airtight. But they're saying these type of bottles are not good for aging. So, I mean, I know a bunch of different beers actually have you can buy beers that actually have these types of bottles too.
So right now, the beers I have aging, typically every year I'll get a bottle of Pumpkin and Warlock. And I always get 2 bottles of that, and I put one for the next year. I always feel they taste better after a year of aging.
Yeah.
I have a bottle of Worldwide Stout from Dogfish that I got this year.
That is also very good for aging.
Which I'm going to age. And that has just your regular cap on it.
Yeah.
But I actually have a 32-ounce bottle from Carton of their smoked porter. It's their shipwreck porter. And
save that.
When you actually get the bottle from them, it's a bottle like you just showed, Ted.
This one?
It's actually they fill up their regular 32-ounce growlers, and it has that top to it. Actually, no, it has that top, but it's not sealed with that top.
Oh.
That's kind of just left to the side because it's their growlers. But they put a regular crown cap on it, and then they wax seal it. Yeah.
That is definitely, I think wax seals.
Yeah.
Definitely. And while we were at the and we wanted to kind of touch on this as well, while we were at the if you guys weren't able to come and watch on Saturday, we were at Isaac Newton's in Newtown, Pennsylvania. And we were at a Russian River tap takeover, but a awesome guy. I'm gonna see if I can get him on here to hang out with us as well. This gentleman named Jeremy. He brought in a Neshaminy Creek, very rare. I forget the actual name of the beer, but what I'll do is I'll probably go back and make a specific highlight of that. But he brought in a bottle for us to taste, and that had a really nice wax seal on it. And I think those things would be fantastic to age. And Scott, you would have loved this beer. And I'm going to see if I can
I'm very upset that I wasn't there. So how was the Pliny Elder?
Pliny was good as always. They served it sadly at 3:30, and I had already a several pints before that. So,
Oh,
well,
so
several half pints.
they didn't start serving the Pliny till 3.
Yeah, 3:30.
So
Yeah.
4 hours, 4.5 hours into the event.
Well, we were there
Wow.
for 5.5 hours total.
Wow.
From when we started going live to when we signed off, I think at 4:30 or something like that. Oh, Dark Hair Beauty, you're always welcome. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I love your company, so I appreciate it. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next week. We'll be here again
Yeah.
Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ba-dum-bum. That bar takeover was fun. It was even fun as a viewer. I request drinking songs in the next one. Well, that was my question, right? If you guys, if you didn't get a chance to be a part of it, like Green Giant, he actually came out and hung out with us. So thank you again, sir, for coming out and hanging out with us and having fun, having a few pints. But there's a 5.5 hour highlight that I have of the entire event. And not that I'm saying you should.
It's not really a highlight.
No, that's not much of a highlight. But I make every show we do, I always make a highlight it, and then I always do the beer reviews after that, and make the separate highlight of it, because eventually in Twitch, the broadcasts actually expire, so you actually lose the episode. So I wanted to make a full broadcast of the Tap Takeover, and it was a fun time. I think huge thanks. I don't know if I could say more. He's not here tonight, but Steve Z, who's always here on the show, he had brought his amazing mobile setup. Scott, did you see that?
Really?
Oh man, he had his cell phone, like his iPhone. Steve works for Apple. My man's got all the hookups, right? So he brought his. It was like this. I don't even know what the hell to call it, but it was like this mount that he stuck his phone in, and it was huge. It was like this thing you could hold like it was like this, right? And then you can actually attach like camera lenses to for like wide views, and then even like a like a light, and then you can attach like a microphone, a boom mic too.
Wow.
But huge thanks to him. My man Steve did 100% of all the big old steady cam rig for steady cam rig for a cell phone. Go check out even at the beginning of the broadcast, if you didn't get a chance to watch at it. Like I said, there's a highlight for this past Saturday's Tap Takeover we did live. Our first mobile broadcast, and there's plenty of other ones we're planning, by the way. So, but we pictured and focused on his rig that he had there, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I jumped on a couple times, and it seemed like every time I jumped on, I got maybe 5 minutes of footage, and then you guys were going to a break to go to the bathroom.
We only braked for once. I only broke once to the bathroom.
All right, so it was definitely that time.
All right, so that was the only time. Oh no, there were certain things that were going on. Oh my God, yeah, there was a few things like
one I definitely remember you saying time to go to the loo, and another time you were cutting to a break for something else.
Tim needed me to shut off some cameras for certain things that were going on outside of the bar.
Gotcha.
That should not have been happening. We thought it was someone fighting. But there wasn't a bar brawl. It was something else. I can tell you exactly what it is later, Scotty. I'm not gonna talk about it over here.
Fair enough.
But yeah, there were one or two times that Tim was like, "Shut off the camera feed." It's like, all right, dude, cool. You're the one who is cool enough to let us come and hang out here. I'm not gonna say no to you. So, I think one of the things that I need to really focus on next time is that I constantly forgot to talk about. Well, no, there were 4 out of the 5 beers that I had, because they were serving like small little half pints, some of the beers. But 4 out of the five beers that I had that day, I I did like a kind of a okay review of, and I think
Hmm.
what I need to do is do a better review of it. As far as like what we do for our beer reviews at the beginning of the show. If you guys just joined us, thank you for stopping in. If you're not a follower, don't forget to hit that follow button. Boom, boom, right there. No bar fight, no drug deals, no weapons trades. Well, I can't say all of them didn't happen, but um, it was bootleg Star Wars Christmas special VHS. That would have been epic, Toaster. That would have been epic. But there definitely wasn't any bar fights at that show. So at this time, so yeah, it was a long day. But I think what I need to do is remember to do more thorough beer reviews and kind of take my time with it when we do this again. And again, this was our first mobile broadcast out at
Well,
Isaac's. So
I got to tell you, I mean, the times I was on watching the broadcast, I thought I could hear you clearly, which was
that's
my
always good.
biggest concern because in a
It can get
bar
loud.
atmosphere it can get loud and you have a lot of voices you're competing with. So
I'm gonna save the last bit for Anne. I think she'll actually really enjoy this. But yeah, no, and there was music in the background. You
yeah,
know, some applications I can see for using this because I mean, this broadcast that I do every week at Wednesday at 8 p.m. I do this on my PC, desktop PC. But for the mobile broadcast, we use this little bad boy right here, which you can see, kind of see the broadcast going live here, right? So some of the other applications I want to use this for, as I messed up my camera, is brewery interviews, brewery tours. I think that would be kind of epic. I have a lot of friends that are brewers locally that I think we can get some really cool tours going, and I think it would be kind of cool if we can get like the four of us, Scotty,
yeah,
kind of get some babysitters going on because Scott and I both have well, T just turned 1, right, and
yep,
Owen's a little bit older than T, but not by much. Get some babysitters and we can just go down to wherever we're doing the beer interview and just kind of hang out and
absolutely. I'm game for that.
but also brewing, at your house or my house. I think that would be fantastic.
Mhm.
Um, but and same thing. There's other tap takeovers that they do every year at Isaac's, or we don't even necessarily have to stick to Isaac's. There are plenty of places around me that have different interesting like beer releases that we want to do. That I think we do. The only really thing I need is a really solid Wi-Fi signal, you know.
Yeah,
And I gotta say the Wi-Fi signal at Isaac Newton's was spot on. I mean, there was no issue with it at all, and that was one of the reasons why I went there and did a lot of testing in the first place. Because I was really super concerned about how that was actually going to go.
right.
Will we get any latency? Will we get any lag? But no, it was great.
Yeah, look good to me. Absolutely great.
We passed out a ton of cards too,
Mm.
of like business cards. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I got some cool epic business cards made up. Got my little escape time logo and and then on the back of it's got some information. Although I realize now the one thing that I'm missing from here is a really easy way for them to directly contact me. So I think the next batch I'm gonna have to add my email in here.
Mm.
Great Flame, thank you for auto host. Box Hero, thank you for the auto host. I do appreciate that. But we gave out a ton of cards, and there were a lot of people actually at the pub who sadly didn't follow, but they probably also didn't have like Twitch accounts.
Right.
Um, but they were watching it live. And one guy, it was funny, Scott. One guy, we were talking, we were doing all sorts of stuff, and in the monitor, I see this guy kind of creep up behind us, and he's like this. You could see him. He's like, and he's looking at my laptop, right? He's looking at my laptop. He's like, and then he went, and then he looked at his phone again, and he waited. Yeah. So yeah, it was
He
pretty
was
good.
realizing the delay.
Oh yeah, no, but it was funny because I was talking to him. It was like, hey, you watching on your phone? It's like, yeah, there's a lot of people watching, and I was like, wow. So we didn't get a lot of follows, sadly, during the thing, but we did get we were up to I think 75 viewers, uh, watching the stream. Um, but a lot of those viewers were unfortunately not Twitch users.
Right.
So, but if you go into some of the details of the stream and stuff and what we did, there was for 2 hours there was a steady view of 75 people watching it, which was
That's good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy about that. Yeah, Gabe was doing his sales rep thing, and also big thank you to Devin, who kind of I think she kind of runs the show over there as far as stuff like that. But she also handed out some business cards and stuff like that too. So, but there was a lot of people watching. It was pretty good. I mean, I'm not really too worried about the whole. I mean, I love new followers. Don't get me wrong. I love if you're watching, you've never watched, you're not following. Please follow. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff. But I'm really more worried about having a good time. That's what it is. I created this, and I've said this multiple times. I created this as a way to get my friends together. We don't get a chance to drink as often together. It's sad that we have to do it virtually, but shit, I'll take it virtually over not at all.
Whatever way we can get it.
Yeah, exactly. I created this to be able to hang out with my boys, talk about beer.
Yeah.
And just interact with all of you. So that was my goal. And if you guys love it, fantastic.
The only
I
downside.
do appreciate it.
The only downside is if we were hanging out in person, I'd get to try that clown shoes.
It's very true. It's very true. So, yeah. The rum is very prominent in this thing right now, by the way.
All right.
From the barrel aging. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go to the place I got this beer and see if we can find another one, Scotty. And
I got to say, with the I reviewed the Hop Stupid from Lagunitas. Still very big fan. It's not killed my palate as you would have expected from 102 IBUs.
Yeah.
It's a very well balanced. It is hoppy, obviously, but they definitely struck a good balance between the hops and the flavor of the beer, and it doesn't kill your taste buds above and beyond other just regular IPAs, which have a lot lower IBUs.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend it for anybody that can find this beer. Definitely. I know they sell it in 6-packs as well. I got a larger 22-ounce bottle. So, if you don't want to commit to 22 ounces, definitely try the smaller 12 ounces.
It sounds like you should probably commit to the 22 ounces, to be honest with you, at that point. I mean,
I would.
Yeah.
Personally.
If you're a hophead and you never had this beer, by all means, commit to that 22 ounce. Go for it. AJL Gaming, thank you for the auto host. Do appreciate it. That is the downside, because I would have loved to try that beer as well. Although this is an epic treat. This was a one-time, and Toaster, you said you were going to go look for this. This is a limited brew. This is a one-time brew for the Unicorn Dragon Hybrid with a hammer. And I just want to keep saying that, because there's nothing more epic than what I'm seeing on the front of this goddamn bottle right now. A Unicorn Dragon Hybrid holding Thor's hammer. Yes, that is it. So, I think what we did on Saturday was fantastic. And again, huge thanks to everybody that was watching. If you're watching again or watching this broadcast later on, thank you again for hanging out. Green Giant, thank you for coming out and hanging out with us in person. But yeah, it was a very successful event. I was in a good way. I was pretty happy. And you could see the de-evolution of me in the beginning of the stream to the end of the stream. Yeah, at the end, and I signed off with a woo. I did the Ric Flair woo, right? It was like woo. You know, it was there. I was set. It was May I post a link? Yeah, Toaster, you should be able to post a link. Okay. You already should be a regular, man. If not, then I need to fix that. I know. Yeah, post a link. See what happens. If not, Monica, can you give him some rights to post the link? But yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day. I'm looking forward to whatever we do next. And I think the next thing we're gonna do is gonna be brewing, either at your house or my house.
Okay.
Whatever works for you, mate. I mean, you know, if it's easier for you to do the brewing at your house, you know, I'm cool with that.
I think we so things we've talked about in the past is brewing a beer alongside the fire pit going and seeing if, you know, some of the kind of the smoke from the fire pit introduces anything to the beer.
We have that epic patio now with the fire pit
Yeah.
there, so we could do down there.
That's it. That's an interesting attempt, you know, to do the harvest ale, which we kind of know the flavor profile of that, and see if there's any changes with having the pit going.
Oh, Toaster just brought up the label. Check that link out. No, that is exactly what is on the front of my bottle right here. That is an epic label. Look at that thing. That is gorgeous, I gotta say. No, I think that would be fun. I don't know how that would affect the beer, because a lot of times
it may not, but who knows?
Well, who knows? I think it would be kind of fun to see, you know. But you know what I really want to try the next time we brew beer? Maybe we can even do 2 like we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see if we could do that cold fermenting with like chocolate and coffee, to see if we can get that coffee flavor into a beer that's lighter color. You know, maybe we've done that Dead Presidents, right? You did.
Yeah.
A while back. Although I love the one that had the wrong yeast in it. You know, I thought that was
so
awesome.
The Dead Presidents with an English yeast strand. Yeah.
I thought that was, and I actually want to do that. I just want to do that just as far as like a session drinking beer for myself. I think that is fantastic. And I'm trying to convince Ann to let me do kegging. So it's one of the next things.
Yeah.
I'm not one for tattoos, but that's a creature that I would get inked on. Put a space wizard on it, and it's back or something. Oh my god, yeah. Seriously. That thing is genius. It's a good beer though, Toaster. I would say go find it if you haven't already. If you get a chance, definitely look it up. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. But yeah, I think doing that cold fermenting with the coffee would be a great idea. You know? Yeah. Just to try it, because we've done it before with our milk stout, and it's turned out really nicely. Because we've done a milk stout, and what we do is after it's done fermenting, we transfer it to a secondary, and we stick it into coffee beans, non-ground coffee beans in there for about 2 weeks, and then after that we just take it out and we're done with it, you know. And it has a huge coffee flavor, right. But by cold fermenting, it actually doesn't take any of the color of the coffee beans and adds it to the beer. It just adds the flavor and the aroma to it. So if you see a beer that's like of the same color that Scott had tonight, so it has a coffee flavor to it.
Monica seems to want to see the kitty.
Oh, there she is. What is up, Jenny?
Yeah, that's Jenny. She's a big fan of the show. She comes over every week. We have the show.
Every week she comes and hangs out.
Yeah.
She just wants your lap. That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be kind of cool to try. I just got to figure out what's the best beer to do it with. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's a cool idea. But I think that's the next thing we're gonna do. But we are planning. And I know you're not gonna be in Boston for this one, but pick up some Trillium while I'm there for you, Scotty.
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna bring home
I
cases.
I will give you the money in advance because I want a 4-pack of everything they have.
I may have to bring some home for myself too,
It's
because
it's really good beer.
where our hotel is for PAX East, guys. If you see what you're seeing down here in the corner, the right hand corner there, is we are going to PAX East in March. Yeah, super excited about that. A lot of the guys, a lot of people from Crypt Mode are going, but the hotel that I'm actually staying at is right across the street from Trillium. So I have no reason, and I'm driving up there, so I have no reason not to bring all this stuff back. So I'm gonna bring
Well,
back as much as I can.
like I've said, the one thing about Trillium and Boston in general is they don't allow tasting in the brewery.
Yeah, that's a
You
Trillium.
can you can only buy cans
Yep.
or fill up growlers, but the growler has to be bought from them.
I'm definitely
So,
bringing back some cans. There's gonna be
yeah,
cans brought back.
yep.
Um,
But the really cool thing they do, which I haven't really found in Jersey, is you can mix and match 4-packs of cans. So,
really?
if you want 4 different beers, they have one of each. You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can
Well,
go that route as well.
that's kind of cool. I
And I
know.
think when I was there, I got one of every style beer they had, 2 cans of each. So I think I walked away with like 12 beers. 12 beers? Yeah, 3 4-packs, and they had 6 beers on tap. So
Okay, that's kind of cool. I need
yeah,
to kind of figure out exactly what I want to do with this whole thing, going forward. But up and buy me a bunch of shops that do. Oh, really? Really? What shops, Green Giant? Because I know you're close by to where I'm at, so I mean, if I just love to know where that is, so I can figure that out. But we're actually planning on doing a something similar to what we did at Isaac Newton's, but at Harpoon Brewery, and I'm
cool.
working on getting that all set up. So that'll be a good kind of good venture. Get a bunch of people together. A lot of people from Crypt Mode. Hopefully we'll be able to come. Ratchesphere. I know
Let me
he's sick today, so.
let me know when you do that because I have a lot of friends around
Oh yeah,
Boston, and I'll try and get a couple of them over.
that'd be awesome, man. I think
Yeah,
that'd be fun. You should tell them about what we're doing here. Get
yeah.
them to watch. Self promotion here. But like Ratchesphere and his brother Myth are going to be. They're not even going to PAX, but they're coming down. Ratchespere's coming down from Vermont, and Myth is coming up from New York City. So they're going to be coming and hanging out with us. Hopefully, that's the plan at least.
So is
So
Ratchet going to bring you some heady topper when he comes down?
he said he might be bringing, and also hopefully that mango jalapeno IPA that he was brewing. Oh
Yeah.
my god, sounded goddamn epic. I cannot wait to drink that thing. Let's be honest, that is going to be an amazing beer. And I always love when trying different homebrews. I think
Yeah.
one day we should review homebrews maybe.
Yeah. The only homebrew I have in the fridge right now, I have a couple ciders and I have an old coffee stout that we did.
I have one left over as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably super carbonated right now.
The coffee stouts weren't. It was more the honey ales that we did.
Oh really?
Yeah, that were over carbonated.
Green Giant. I'm gonna kind of grab that and post it. Actually, unbanned. So, Monica, can you give him permission to post that real fast if you're around. All right, so it's basically a craft beer outlet. Cool. I'm gonna have to look that up, man. Um, what was I gonna say about a craft beer? Oh, you have some mead there too, don't you? Still,
Yeah, I have
Toaster is a
about
big fan of mead.
I have 3 or 4 small wine bottles of mead from probably 2012.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah, they're old.
I
I
remember
actually,
tasting
I
them when they were fresh, like
yeah,
brand new.
they were after a year or two aged, they were pretty good. So these have to be spot on at this point. Um, but I just got new bees on my property last spring, the
Yeah,
spring of 2016. So I didn't harvest any honey last year. Um, but next late July, early August, I'll probably have more honey and I'll do a new mead.
I think that would be kind of fun to do. We'll have to maybe if
Yeah.
if you're up for it, when we bring over the equipment, we can do the harvesting.
Yeah. That should be interesting. The harvesting should be interesting. Making the mead is actually very simple.
Yeah, it is.
It's only really taking the honey and adding it to water and adding the yeast on it. So there's not much involved. It's not as complex. Not that brewing beer is really complex, but there's a lot more steps in brewing beer than mead because it's just honey and water.
Or wine too. I mean, like seriously, what I love about doing the wine that we do every year is, and by the way, we've decided that we're not doing a white wine again after
Really?
this year. Yeah, I don't know if I've left it on the left it fermenting way too long and in the primary, but
Well, that's not it. 100% that's not it because the Riesling I did last year, I put in the primary in September and I racked it to a secondary in August. so, so you're looking at 11 months in the primary sitting on all that
yeah.
shrub on the bottom, and it was still fine.
I don't know. Every single like this year, the white wine, it's okay, but a little bit a weird like flavor on the tail end. Not like the year before, which we still haven't finished all these white wines off. We're actually
Mhm.
gonna take it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get some vinegar mother, and we're gonna make vinegar out of the white wine that we have.
Gotcha.
And that's gonna produce a ton of vinegar because we almost have 2 cases of this goddamn shit.
uh,
So it's super alcoholic. You cook it with it, but man, there's a lot of white wine. But the white wine we did this year, what we're gonna do is I think we're actually gonna go take. I gotta go get some oak staves, and I'm
mhm.
just gonna toss it in there, and hope it covers up the taste. It's still drinkable. This is a Chardonnay. Like the first year we did Chardonnay, it was okay. You know, last year we did I think the Sauvignon Blanc, and it just failed. It was just
Mm.
bad. And then this year we did Chardonnay again, and I think, but it's in the same conditions as the red wine. The red wine tasted amazing.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't
so
know. I
I
don't know what
don't
to tell
know. It's weird. There's a reason Valhalla has mead in halls and not kegs of Budweiser. Yes, very true. Because mead is the drink of the gods. It is. It is a fantastic thing.
you.
Mm. Oh well, guys. I have to say, I apologize. I had some trouble with Kahoot, so I don't have any trivia this week. So I will work on that for next week. I don't know what the hell was going on with Kahoot, but I do not have any trivia this week. So I gotta apologize. I gotta look and see what the hell the issue was.
Well, we can throw out a trivia question
Oh.
for response next week.
Oh. Okay.
Everybody do their research.
Ooh.
In terms of the liquids consumed throughout the world, where does beer rank?
Oh, it's not a bad idea. So.
Yeah,
All right. So what was the question again?
if you look at all of the liquids consumed in the world,
Yep.
where does beer rank among them?
Of all the liquid, yeah. Unsubscribing, boo. Unsubscribbling, scribbled. I don't know what that even means. Yeah, dude. Sorry, Toaster. I totally meant. Just something happened with Kahoot. Couldn't get it all. Couldn't get it working for this week. So I was normally I do like the everything ahead of time, and I just had some trouble with it. So I just couldn't get it fixed in time. So I apologize for no trivia this week. Yeah, my bad. But that's a good question, though, Scotty. Of all the liquid that is consumed in the world, where does beer rank? And next week come back, give us an answer in chat, and of all the liquids or all the drinks, because Google search is bringing crude oil.
Toaster. Fair enough. Of all the liquids consumable by humans in a drink form.
Or would it be where does beer rank in pops and popular consumable liquids?
Yeah, either way, it's the same question, and you will find the answer very easily by searching Google. So,
all right, just don't drink crude oil. So,
yes,
no drinking crude oil.
That could be an issue.
That would be bad. So, all right.
I feel very bad about your next morning.
Ooh, that would be painful, definitely.
Yeah. If you wake up.
If you wake up after drinking crude oil, that would be horrible. Oh, Jesus. That would be bad. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for hanging out. I think this is where we're going to end it tonight. Yep. Scotty, thank you for hanging out, brother.
Absolutely, anytime. Yeah, Take care, everybody.
Guys, we're going to host someone real fast. I'm not sure exactly who we're going to raid. Let's figure this all out real fast. I'm gonna refresh this bad boy. You know what? We were talking about Mythmatic before, Rochester's brother. So let's give him a quick host. So go raid Mythmatic. Oh, bollocks. I'm typing in the wrong thing here. Obviously, after drinking alcohol is always fun. Go raid Mythmatic. Say hello to him. Tell him. And please do not post it more than once in the channel. We'll be here again next week at 8 o'clock p.m. And Scott's Eye. Scott's Eye in the garage as always. Give Mythmatic a follow if you haven't talked to him. He's actually a fantastic streamer. Thank you again, Scotty, for hanging out.
Yep. See everybody.
Tell Aaron I said hello and give that little T a hug for us.
Will do.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you next week, 8 p.m. On Wednesday. And if you haven't followed, make sure you click that follow button. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Woo! That's one last woo. Now we're gone. Have a good night, guys.